west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back and start making living again. Get a dividend till we start getting ignorant. I be doing that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nominally abdominal. So what the fuck you trying to do? Rhyming chemical. This is funny until I vomit you. Bring apocalypse to the pussy niggas. Popping shit, team of all stars. I coach them up like a Popovich. Up the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we go check them like an oncologist. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way your vomit is like regurgitate for the audience. It's all applauding this because the competition is fraudulent. From the era when niggas smoking up like a parliament. The flow been stupid. Shit got a retarded sense. All the dominance. One west rising the prominent. Cause I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, meet my maneuvers. But I'm hot like I got good vibes for Ubers. Rhyme hard like the reviews by Medusa. Now I'm really Lucas, 17 in the root. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. I'm a dollar, whatever got a niggas while I name on every dollar. They rhyme by black and dollars, let the send me holler. A showstopper, then the dollars and the baby boppers. But now I'm going off the phone, creamy in my pockets. I put the stitches on the clock, modified the choppers. It's more heavy, more ready, and that's working mama. I'm never running, said I got the love inside the toilet. When I'm a ballin', ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spinach and rice, but when they eat talk, tell it to get to the fire. Or rap with me, and I had a nigga spin like a cider. And I'm still going to fighter. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Good night, I'm really coming through with the silence. You, I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. We come to provide their whole operation. Certified priests prophesying this my occupation. This shit I rate, nigga make this group outside. That's why we on the corner trying to loud look at hostile. I.S.U.P.K style, they stop now. Father just walk in, good ass one round. Let the oppressed rise round and let the rich mourn till the sundown. Enough with this shit about to make it hot, call it compound. It's for my niggas with the guns and the drugs there. President bitch in the Lord called love. Hey, shot inside my death and got beside yourself. More trouble, what you perform? I don't go hide yourself. Never got the die for a slide. And the bitch ain't got no love for the practice. Nah, just for the teacher. And in my father's house is feeding mansions. I got plenty bitch on me and features. This your death sentence. I'm talking yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. And they do not reverence and feel the world, but now I down for your skin. You gon' die for your profit, so y'all can get you. So more for your life, try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil let me in this bill. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook for vicious words out this hanging book. About to take these rappers back to school. My road set in the hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. You became a cow. fruits. The only thing sweet is the honey jet. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for the devil. There's no tomorrow. Wow. Cause the God is leave a man to step course. You see a flag in the bed. I see horns in the pitchfork. So please believe it. The white man is a demon. And I ain't gonna go for them to free me. That beat is the weak. Because the purple is hot as night. Till they rough like ceiling. You got to stick your on your knees. They want to have me. You screaming like this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. My man in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she please. As I squeeze on the double D's. Fucking me. So I'm try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta heal, let them heal. Till the devils let me get slaughter. The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black line. I can't really do shit when they got me. I can't believe they just did this. Oh, fuck it.
Yes, Shalom Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K Trinidad. Again, tonight is Tuesday night, Brotherhood class. Again, this is something that was done, throughout the nation by the priests and prophets, throughout the records of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian land records. The prophets are old. They sit and they taught these records and they brought reminders to the nation of Israel, that the Most High God could be, that God of mercy. He could be that God, at a time when, as we say, as any good father would, when you're not adhering to the rules and regulations that he had set, at that time, he could become at anger. And, once again, through the nation, we learn that without brotherhood, that there can't really be a nation. Right. Without sisterhood, there really can't be a nation. Because now, with that separation, that causes, enmity, that causes grudge, that causes, envy, that causes all these things, that is recorded inside our records for you now to come up against your brother, to come up against your sister. And Commander General Yahanna, I've been holding on this truth and raising up righteous brothers, in the spirit of the Most High Christ, to hold on, these jobs that we were called to, not as any other irregular 9 to 5, but the job as a watchman, to watch over your brother, to watch over your sister. And with these reminders, we have, the black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man book, which is called the Bible, which is called, again, which hold all records, as a people and as a nation. And as we, walk through these, times, and we see it that is set before us, that because of obedience and because of not adhering to the law, statutes, and commandments, which the Most High, had set before us, which he had set prophets before us. And is again the same men are all that is sitting before the nation right now. And these men reside in the I.S.U.P.K under command in Gen.YAHANNA. Because in here, we teach separation. We teach that the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man should be separated from all these other nations. But a Christian pastor, all these religious organizations in Imam, they teach one love, and it is not recorded inside our records. Again, this is why, we continue to remind brothers and sisters that as, the time draw near every day, bit by bit, and that nearer is for us to take heed and pay attention to what is going on around us, because a lot of us still have hope, and in this society, but again, you see, the kingdom is falling. This wicked and oppressed kingdom is falling, bit by bit, day by day. And as priests and prophets of the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, and now continue to bring the warning that the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man should come back to their laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? So again, as we continue to read out of our records, continue to read out of our history, we continue to remind brothers and sisters, again, the concerning, again, as a reminder, the Lord's Passover, 52nd annual Passover again, which will be held at the BH Ranch, Houston. Again, all brothers and sisters are reminded to pay, your Passover fee, and that fee is just again a small sum, because again, when you really look at the work that Commander General Yana have been, pushing and holding down since that time, is a glorious thing to see, that the Most High Spirit, Most High and Christ Spirit, residing and working through, this, leader who's been set before the nation, just like the prophets of old was. Because again, the Most High always set that prophet again to lead the nation, to bring them out of servitude, to bring them out of that place where they have taken on the spirit of all these other nations. And because the Most High have always saw it fit to redeem us, because again, we are the only nation that have been oppressed by these other nations for over 400 years, under their captivity, and way before that, because of disobedience. So again, as we go through our records, again, it is a reminder that these classes and them will be streamed, live every day of the week. And when I say every day, between the hours of 7 to 9 p.m. And we remind brothers and sisters, to tune in to the I.S.U.P.K. And again, there's a lot going on, because during the course of the day, usually, and again, there's generals and them hosting and keeping their classes as well. You find, General Hazayan, holding down or, doing that Hebrew speak, General Makala, actually the prophets, and from time to time again, the other generals and them, with tag along and, continue to raise the barrier and bring, the light to the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. And again, every Monday night, again, Black Watch, it is being hosted by, the leader of the nation at this time, which was given, the authority by the Most High Christ to raise back up these 12 tribes, which is Commanding General Yahanna, continue to hold it down, continue to work, again, as we say, the hardest working man in Israel. We continue to ask that, that the Most High continue to strengthen him, to give him that zeal as he had always had since from that time, since 1969 to now. And and you're seeing the results of all that work that has been put in. And again, as a reminder to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, again, to all brothers who have served in this captivity, who have served under the so-called white man or oppressor, or under all of our oppressors, whether it be the East Indian, whether it be the Chinese, Elam, Moab, Ammon, whether it be any one of these nations, the Arabs. It's time for you now to come back. And as this time draw near, the Most High God is showing us that way. And that way is separation. That way is separation from all these other nations. And how He's showing us it today, He have always been showing us it. That is true our records, because our King Yahawashi came, and has been made mention, He didn't teach the New Testament, He teach the Old. So how could you come and say that that the Old done away with? When He teach, it didn't have, as we say, it didn't have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John before. When he didn't have Acts, he didn't have all of that. But what He did, He teach everything that was written aforetime, as the scripture say, everything that was written aforetime was written for all those. So again, as we continue to pay attention and continue to to go into our records again, and just as Commander General Yana had brought out, there's only two philosophy, in this earth, which is the knowledge of the truth of the Most High, and everything else is from Christianity. Meaning to say that again, which is the tool to oppress the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Because again, the knowledge of the truth, you will find this in your records. And the only how you can get the knowledge of this truth is by righteous black men, or as we say, men that has been called. Because as the scripture say, He had sent forth for the apostles last. And this is how this truth will be reside. And as He say, and I'm just paraphrasing some scriptures, and as He say, He have known us from in that womb, who we are going to be. And this shows you that again, that man has always been, the face of the earth, covering the face of the earth. There have always been, men that have been trying to downtread and destroy what the Most High had set up from in the beginning when He made clear separations in all, because as you say, in every sector, as we say, within that 7 days, everything that He do, He saw it was good, and He made total separation from that time. So as we continue, as we read through our records, the time for separation again have been as the prophets have been crying out for over, you know, how much thousands of years, as reminders to the nation that we should be separated. Because why? It was always been a structure where what the Most High had separated, had you know, made from the beginning, and that structure will always stand. Because the scripture said the Most High don't change. He stick to whatever that is being laid down. And again, your thoughts are not his thoughts. So he could have mercy on who he wants to have mercy on. Right? So again, we stream live classes, you know, throughout the week again, here in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, you know, every day of the week, you know, you can tune in to the Monday night history class again. And why we emphasize on these classes and them, because it's a platform, it's a tool of learning, it's a tool that, you know, where your mind will be repaired, your spirit will be repaired. Because why? Righteous black men is bringing to you the truth, as we say, that had never been told, because you have been growing up with that with lies, right? So with that, we go to the first book. We go to Deuteronomy, and we will start Deuteronomy chapter 7, and we will start at verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, I had cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Right. So as we start, this is the platform that we starting on, because now, as we see, the instructions been passed down, and now the instructions has been laid, and as the Most High now give the instruction, this is the instruction, you know, that Moses is bringing before the nation. Is bringing before the nation and letting them know that the Most High God is a separatist, right? Let me just look up that meaning, separatist. Yeah.
Separatist. A person who supports the separation of a particular group of people from a larger body on the basis of ethnicity.
Of what?
Ethnicity.
Go ahead.
Religion or gender.
Right. And we know what ethnicity is. Again, this could either be your nation or your nationality. And what is your nationality? Because this is a question always posed, you know, to the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. What is your nationality? They identify their nationality by where they reside.
Right.
And this is why now the 12 tribes chart, again, you could find this in the Bible. You could find this in your records, Genesis 49 and Deuteronomy 33. You could find this inside of it. And it will show you our forefather, you know, or as we say, you know, Jacob or Israel, making known to these sons where they would be residing in these last days.
Right.
And what would take place. And this is why now, as we read and we understand what is that, then we understand, as you know, Officer Shah was bringing out last night again, and in with the anthem, and when he bring out, what really is religion. And when you go into it now, as you say, in the anthem, it say every creed and race. This is you, belonging to this particular nation. This is you belonging to this race of people. But because now you, as we say, you join that melting pot, and you join, as we say, as you bring out, all our we is one. This is why your minds, your way of life, your walk in this society have you to the bottom. Because why? It was always reminded, as we continue to read on, that the Most High God always kept us separated. Because as we read let's not start here. Read 6 and 24, and we'll come back down to 7 now. So that
the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes.
To do all what?
All these statutes.
Go ahead.
To fear Lord our God.
To do what?
To fear our Lord our God.
And why, Moses, at that time is making mention of this. Because the Most High God is to be feared. Because why? They saw the example. Just as he make mention, he's going to raise them up to demonstrate that he power in the earth. And this is what we're seeing right now. The Most High God is always to be feared. As we say, what we're plaguing right now, the coronavirus is running rampant. As we say, there are other plagues on the agenda.
Right.
So the Most High God is always to be feared. Because why? Just as he made everything from the beginning and he separated it, this is why now he always reminds us to be separated, because as you say, he made us a separate people. And we're going to read it as we continue to read it. Go ahead.
So that kind of thing. For our good always.
For what?
Our good always.
Because this will always be for our good. Any good father would always, see the benefits or set up that benefit for his children. Because why? He would always want to see that good come out of as we say, of his loins, as we say, of his seed. And as we read the definition are separate, the Most High separation, and again a separatist. The Most High had always made us separated. As always, like he had always, put us or separated everything in its own place. And this is why now these records belong to the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It's separated from the Babylonian Talmud. It's separated from the what? From the Quran. It's separated from where is the East Indian them book name again? The Bhagavad Gita. Because why? They serve images, but we serve a true and living power, the creator of all. And this is why again, the Spirit of the Most High and Christ have been that one flow throughout these records. Because why? Again, our King Yahawashi then teach Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Everything he say, what is it not written? And then he quote from it. Now you know what we have today. We have, as we say, the book.
That's right.
The Black Hispanic and Native Indian Man book. And this is why now it could be reminded to you, to the nation or the children of Israel, these 12 tribes, to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. It would be reminded that you all. And you know who's going to be reminding you? The priests and prophets of the I.S.U.P.K under command of Gen.YAHANNA. Because why? We believe, as we say, that the Most High God had made us separated. Because why? We're not speaking our own language, we're not speaking our own native tongue. This is why now, again, as in these last days, what we do now, we're rehearsing these acts that was written aforetime for us following. And you could only find that residing in the I.S.U.P.K. And as the Most High God continue to bring separation to us and to these nations, we're going to see the rise, as we say, Esau is the end of, and Jacob is the beginning of it, is the beginning that follows it. This is what we're going to see. So, as we continue to read on, right, we go continue to read on. Slakia.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
And it shall be our what?
Our righteousness.
Go ahead.
If we observe to do all these commandments.
If we pay heed, or as we say, we follow after what is recorded or given to us by this prophet that the Most High set before us to set instructions. Right? Go ahead.
Before the Lord our God, as he had commanded us.
And this is what he had commanded us. Go ahead. 7.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
Right. So he going into this now. This is the land that the Most High God going to bring us in, whether we go to possess it, when we go to possess it, or we go to take it over. Go ahead.
And had cast out many nations before thee.
And I do what?
Cast out many nations before thee.
What that's showing you there? He didn't say you're going to live with them. He didn't say you're going to be amongst them. He said you're going to cast them out. Right. And this is what's going to happen, as we say, when our King Yahushua returns. What are you going to do? You're going to cast out that fraud, as we say, as the scriptures say. As you say, they say they are Jews, but they are not. What is the synagogue of Satan?
Right.
That man that deceived the whole earth. As the scripture says, this is the man, this is him. He's going to make a clear separation. And this is why it will always be make mention that the Most High God is a separatist. He had always been separating from the beginning. Right? Go ahead.
The Hittites.
The who?
The Hittites.
Right. Go ahead.
And the Girgashites.
Right.
And the Amorites.
Right.
And the Canaanites.
Right.
And the Perizzites. And the Hivites. And the Jebusites.
Right.
7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
And he says 7 nations greater and mightier than yours. Because why? At this time, what was taking place? The nation was now forming. The nation was now building. And all these nations had already established. It's the same thing you're seeing today. Where is Israel? Israel is scattered amongst all nations. And these nations, as we say, is well established. Because why? The rich in wealth, the economic status, as we say, the curses on them.
Right.
When you look through the curses on them, you're going to see, as you say, you're going to go to the enemy in want of what? In want of all things. In hunger, in thirst. Where's our economic, as we say, background? Where's our, as we say? This is why we remind brothers and sisters, blacks, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that the Most High God had separated us from the beginning. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
He will hug them and he will say, all are we is one family. And that song, all are we is one family. All are we is one family. What you say you're going to do?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
This is what we're going to do. And Lord allow, we go read, as we say, a particular instant where we was given instructions and it didn't follow out. And what happened? It fall back on us. Because why? We were given instructions to do what? Utterly destroy them. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them. So you're listening. As I say, these instructions being laid down, thou shalt utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them. Don't join with them. Don't join with them. Clear separation. The Most High God again had laid it down from the foundation. He was always to be separated. The Most High God again will always be a separatist because why? This is what he had laid down from the foundation. And again, as the scripture say, on every day he saw that it was good. And he made total separation on each and every one of them days. He didn't just say, well, 7 days. He said day 1, day 2, and he went on. And he saw it was good. Go ahead.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Nor do what?
Nor show mercy unto them.
And when these instructions, and this is why, as we say, as the scriptures say, right now he sent for fishers and men. This is the platform that we are on right now. We're fishing or reminding brothers and sisters to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And we're going to have that time where you're going to send what? Hunters. Where you're going to be sending men to do what? To pull out, or as we say, every foul and unclean spirit that reside in this earth. Because as the scripture says, he made this earth for our sakes. He set this place in righteousness. That as you say, that the only righteous in authority, the whole earth will rejoice. So when the righteous in authority, the whole earth will rejoice. And this is why he making mention that as that last part of the precept say, wait, say again. Mm-hmm.
Nor show mercy unto them.
And this is what is going to happen. Because why? This is what have been established. This is what have been set down by our Father. And filtered through with the understanding by our King Yahushua. And it could be reminded us today by the Most High in Christ who they choose. Again, by commanding General Yana to pass this on to righteous men, to faithful men, to brothers standing in truth, standing in this righteousness for one cause, that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians would come back to the mindset and understand who they really serve, the true and living power. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Now we're going into something, and all these things is clear separation. Clear separation. Go ahead.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter unto thy son.
Right. Don't take your daughter and give to his son, and don't take your son and marry them off to their daughters, because what will happen?
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
For they will turn away who?
They will turn away thy son from following me.
And when this, as we say, the sons of God start following, as we say, start taking on the daughters of men, what's going to happen? They're going to turn away from the Most High God, because they forget that the Most High God had already made us separated from these other nations. separated. And the reminder to the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, woman, and child, it's time for you to be separated. It's time for you to turn away, or as we say, to come out from, under the hands of oppression. And what oppressing you? The Christian church, the mosque, all these religious beliefs, the Catholic, as we say, Catholicism, walking after again the doctrine and the philosophies of this society. And that is why, again, as the general make mention, with these two philosophies in the earth, the truth, again, of the Most High, and everything that follow it is Christianity. So wherever you may be, because, and this is why now, as we say, we always make mention, this is why the I.S.U.P.K is not affiliated with no other group or religious organization. We're not in one melting pot. We separated. The Most High God make that clear distinction, and this is what we following. And we is not the be sure. We is make sure, and everything have been made sure through our records. Because why? It was already established who the Most High God is, and the instruction passed down is what He intend for it to be passed out to the nation. Go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
And this is what going to happen. We turn away with sons, and what's going to happen? You start to do what? You start to worship Hail Mary. You start to, as I say, you want to run around the Kaaba stone. You want to be, as I say, I can be anything. You want to, as I say, shave your head clean and put dots on it like you're a monk. And balling, we are part of everything.
Right.
Which is a total lie. Because why? Your mind now joined to a society that drinking from one cup, which is the cup of destruction, as the scriptures say. Everybody that drink from that cup, the destruction going to come to them. Because now you're join something, as we see, or join someone who is totally against the Most High God orders, who is totally against what these records and them record. Right? Go ahead.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
So the anger of the Lord will do what?
Be kindled against you.
And this is when the Most High God is going to be angry as any good father. But I warn you. And I warn you. Go ahead.
Okay. And destroy thee suddenly.
And destroy thee what?
And destroy thee suddenly.
And they're going to destroy you suddenly. So now you're wondering now why it is now that that are going through this. Why it is now, why me? I always like to ask that question, why me? The scriptures showing you what the Most High God is requiring for us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
That's separation. Go ahead. Going up to 6.
Verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall utterly destroy their altars.
Shall utterly destroy what?
Their altars.
Right.
And break down their images. And cut down their groves. And burn their graven images with fire.
And this why he making mention of this? Because again, when the righteous in authority, the whole earth is going to rejoice. So no longer now, as I say, the Kaaba stone will be in existence. As we say, the idol, as we say, the images, the statue. What going to happen to it? It's going to be broken down. It's going to be teared down. Because now, what going to happen? It's going to be reminded that the righteous in authority. And there's only one true and living power, or one true and living God who running this, which as we say, in Hebrew, which is Yahweh, the Most High Yahweh. He running this.
Right.
He gave instructions for this. He set everything up, as we say, in its own quarters. He made total separation to all these nations. And what he do, as he say, he choose you. Not because, as you say, it was few in numbers, or it was few in because why? Because he loved, that love. Because why? That covenant that he made with all forefathers. The God of, that's why he says the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He make that clear distinction, that clear separation. And everybody else going to do what? Going to follow. Because why? This is righteousness. This is separation. And this is what has been established through our records. And this is what has been established in the I.S.U.P.K under command General Yahanna. This righteous structure, this separation from this melting pot, as a reminder that what is going to come. And this is why now is a reminder that in these last days that we should separate. And we continue to make mention of this. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord.
Right? And the word holy in Hebrew means kodash. Separate. Go ahead.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto who?
Unto himself.
Because why? That one spirit, that one mind, that one judgment, that righteousness. The Most High God again had always said righteousness throughout the earth. And again, you think that would stop now? The only thing, as we as made mention, that they want to stop, that is you. You stopping you by doing what? By serving other gods. Right. By walking after all these doctrines and philosophies of this society. The Most High God work will continue. That is why he say, and he make a clear distinction with what is going to happen. Right. With the 1/3 and the 2/3. But in the I.S.U.P.K, we always make mention that as scripture say, that all Israel could be saved. And this is why now the Most High God has given us this platform and given us this opportunity. Because again, the brothers here in Trinidad, the brothers, all the brothers, throughout these schools and them, didn't just, as we say, wasn't just as we say, all good and as we say, as we quote unquote, nice. We had backgrounds of walking in this society. And because, as we say, the light that Commandant General Yahanna had shed onto us brought us back in that spirit and brought us up back to the clear distinction and separation, understanding that who we are, where we reside, where as we say, our names have been given to us through these records. Right. And this is why again we will always make mention of the 12 tribes chart. And again, one of the Captain Kataza again did a breakdown on the 12 tribes chart. Up to today, it didn't have an answer back from any religious organization concerning that breakdown. Because why? They there and just taking notes. And this is why, as the general make mention, earlier, as we say, had the testicles to start take a side seat and let the righteous, as we say, the men that have been called for this job, do it. Don't stand in the way, because you stand in the way, as we say, in the prayer to you know that to shake loose, as we say, the pockets of the rich. Continue to contribute. Continue to, as we say, to you know, to pay your tithes, as we say. But do join hands with the oppressor in this work, to stop this work.
Right.
Because why? The Most High God already make mention that this place is going to be destroyed. And we have many examples through the scriptures in all the captivities that the nation of Israel was under servitude. Right? We are done with 6. Yeah, go ahead.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had not chosen thee, so like he had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are on the face of the earth. Because why? There's a total clear separation where the Most High God have laid down and have always, you know, brought to the forefront, and have always, as we say, as these angels take record and you know continue to you know bring these records unto the Most High, and the instructions been passed down as we see through the scriptures, through all these you know prophets before, you know, making mention to the people, hey, turn away from this, as we say. The Most High God is a separatist. He has always separated us from these other nations, right?
Right.
Right? Yeah, read verse 7.
Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, but ye were more in number than thy people.
And as he make mention of that now, what he doing there, he cutting that pride. He cutting that puff up, that way, you know, because as we say, because again, when you look at, you know, all these, you know, break off, or as we say, these Christians and them,
right,
they always puff up in these records and them. You know, well, we Israel, we is this, but not understanding that the Most High God choose you to be separated, choose you to rule in righteousness. But because of your puffed upness and your pride, what you do? You know what you start to do? You start to join with, as you say, with people who looking just like you. Right. What you start to do? You start to go down in these, as we say. We say in verse 1, he call out all them African names and them.
right,
And he made and he tell you instructions to do. But you know, because you puff up now you start to look at what all black people is one. Right. Now you start to follow on that agenda, and you start to follow on that philosophy and that doctrine. So where you do now? You're seeing anything, as you say, anything or anybody a color is one. But not knowing again, the Most High God already labeled
right,
who you're going to be. The book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18.
right.
Who he is. This is by. So when this come out now, and as you say, and the read, and the priest say, number them by the seed of the Father. When they read, what happened? It show you a total separation. So now you're realizing now when you're watching some of these, as you see these show, the movie, show you that hey, them African calling you what? Calling you Qatar. But and you just see, or you just see that how we is one. So the Most High now making you know, don't be puffed up.
Right.
Don't feel, or as we say, don't look, as we say, try the spirit by the spirit.
Right.
And what you're trying them with this word. Right? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 8. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeem you out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of what?
Bondage.
Right.
Shalakia.
Right.
House of bondmen.
Of bondmen, right? Slave men.
From the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
And because why? We were serving in Egypt. We were serving. And again, the Most High God heard that line. Drop that. Let me go to Romans 9 and 13. So let me catch up with you.
Come.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, 9 and 13.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
And this is why, and as we say, all these is as been made mention is as we say, foundation scriptures, milk scriptures, and this is what we're reading out of. And as time go on, and as you're being weaned from the breast, and as you say, weaned from that milk, and you start to eat meat, then the understanding, as we say, that been passed down and been taught by these generals and them each and every day, and as reminders to brothers, that sit on these tables, that these scriptures, if it's one thing, remember these scriptures.
Right.
Because why it should be a reminder to you, because now it make you to understand that the Most High God have always been a separatist, have always been, as we say, making clear distinction of who you are and who you belong to. Because why? It's showing you that the Most High God has choose you, as the scripture, as we now read, to be that special people unto Him. Continue on.
Verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God?
And this was a question now, because now, as we say, you're bringing it out. God loved the children of Israel, but the Most High God, don't love the Chinese, don't love the as we say, the East Indian. So we will say then that this is unrighteousness with God. This is why now in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yana, as we say, we continue to teach separation. We continue to be that separatist, as our Father have made a clear distinction of. Because our Father made that clear distinction from the beginning of our records, when He set everything in its bounds. He put everybody in their own quarters. And He do choose you, Israel. And this is why now we could read out our records, and we could tell any, Christian pastor, any imam, as we say, any proud boy, is this unrighteousness with the Most High? We say the Most High, God forbid. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy.
We talk to.
For he said to Moses.
So he talking to as we say, this prophet, this priest that he have chose from the foundation, as we say, in that time, to lead when we was now, as we say, growing as a nation, to lead this people out of bondage, as we now read, out of the land of Egypt. So he saying unto Moses, go ahead. Mhm.
For he said to Moses,
Mhm.
I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy,
Mhm.
and I will. Okay.
Mhm.
I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
Mhm.
Verse 16.
Mhm.
So then it is not of him that willeth,
Mhm.
nor him that runneth, but of God which showeth mercy.
Right, and as we say, we know it has stories through our records where as we say, same brothers came up against Moses and started to conspire against Moses. And what happened? That's why he say, as he make mention, for he said unto Moses, Moses now had to plea, had to plea unto the Most High to show some mercy. And he let Moses know, hey, I will take you and I can make a nation out of you. Because why? These people, they're rebellious, they're stubborn, they're stiff, they have no sort of compassion. And this is why as we say, under this grace where the Most High God, have given unto us, by our King Yahushua, where he could have plead, as we say, be that intercessor for the nation, that we could come back, as we say, and turn away from all our unrighteousness, and be that renewed person in mind, in spirit, and again in judgment. Because why? Because why? That order
Right.
that have been set down, and by we continue to walk after that order, with always see the righteous rise, and see what the wicked come to naught. Right? From the yes, sir, man. Yeah, that's one. Let's see. Maybe go to Exodus. That's one. Exodus 9. Exodus 9. Yeah. Read Exodus 9 and 1, and then you go jump to 13 after. Just kind of read 9 and, yeah, 9 and Exodus 9 and 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 1.
Mhm.
Then the Lord said unto Moses,
Mhm.
Go in unto Pharaoh
Mhm.
and tell him this.
Mhm.
Thus said the Lord God of the Hebrews,
Mhm.
Let my people go,
Mhm.
that they may serve me.
Right, and again, during the Proud Boys, and then, a question was posed, and Command General Yana said, well, what we could do, tell your people to separate from us. What you can do for me, that tell your people to separate from us. Just separate from us. So now we see it now. This is Moses now telling Pharaoh, this is the instruction that have been given. The Most High God make give my order, and I carrying it out. Say, let my people go. Right? That they will what? That they will what? Yeah. Yeah. That they may serve me.
That
Yeah.
they may serve me.
Right. Right. Read verse 13.
Verse 13.
Now read 9 and 13.
And the Lord said unto Moses,
Mhm.
Rise up early
Yeah.
in the morning,
Right.
and stand before Pharaoh,
Mhm.
and say unto him,
Mhm.
Thus said the Lord God of the Hebrews,
Right.
Let my people go, that they may serve
Now, when
me.
you read through this account and you read it through, you see this is the time when these plagues and them that the Most High God, every time Moses make mention to him, he know, saying, yeah, I go listen, I go listen. And then after we doing, just as he say, we will read it in right, verse 16. Read verse 16.
Verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And in every deed for this cause have I raised thee up,
Right,
and to show in thee my power,
right,
and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
right.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people,
Mm-hmm.
that thou wilt not let them go.
And this is what the I.S.U.P.K under Commandant General Yahanna have been, bringing out in these street, in these street corners, and bringing out through the four corners of the earth.
Right.
In these classes and them, in these black watches and them, in these, as you say, the generals and them, making mention, making that time for again. All they're talking about, as I say, calling we pests, cockroach. Then they let we go. Let go the pests, let go the cockroach. Tell them just as the pastor make mention. We say, you all we call them something white people. I know you all are racists who live down in the south.
Shut the white mouth.
Yeah, you better shut your goddamn white mouth. This is what the I.S.U.P.K under Command General have been bringing out since 1969, to make that clear distinction, or as we say, a clear separation from these other nations, right? Give me, you go to then we go to second Esdras. So again, as we continue to read out of our record, as we say, and the Most High, through our King Yahushua, and again by the righteous leadership of Commanding General Yahanna, brothers on this table always give, that honor to the Most High in Christ, and for setting righteous leadership in the nation, for to raise up, righteous blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian men, whereby, they could, fight in that one spirit and that one mind, just as our King Yahushua, when, as you say, when he called these 12 and he raised them up, and he make mention, as we say, and he set everyone, as we say, with that structure. That structure had never changed from that time. And when you watch the structure of all these religious organizations, you see failure in those structures. Because why? In a time when the nation is stretching out for a helping hand, what they do? They close the doors.
Right.
They, as we say, they're trying now to jump on live stream, as we say. What I call it now? What is the one on forget the name.
No, okay.
When the doing all these live streams and them. Yeah. The broadcasting, they have a name for it now. They jump on that platform because why? Because now they're trying to see if the audience still there. Right. But not knowing that the Most High God already, as you say, he wake up, and as you say, he say, as the scripture say, no man can come unto me lest the Father draw him. Right. Because now everybody now stream social media, streaming, and they now looking for the questions that have been plaguing them. How come pastor, or as you say, how come as you say, they open up? But then now when I watch now, I see the I.S.U.P.K under Commandant General Yahanna, as we say, streaming live.
Right.
7 days, as we say, pushing, as we say, for clear separation, for separation.
Right.
That separation of the Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian man. To turn away from walking after again the doctrines and philosophies of the society and come back to heritage. Come back to knowing who he is. Right? Amen. Yeah, second Ezra.
6 and 9?
Yeah, 6 and this one. 6 and 50. 6 and 53. That's read from 53 come now. Yeah, read from 53.
Okay. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 53.
Mm-hmm.
Upon the 6th day, thou gavest commandment unto the earth that before it should bring forth beasts,
Mm-hmm.
cattle, and creeping things,
Mm-hmm.
and after these
Mm-hmm.
Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures.
Right.
Of him come we all,
Right.
and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Right. Go ahead.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord,
Mm-hmm.
because thou madest the world for our sakes.
And remember now, this is now again, this dream and this and Ezra's now, the angel now interpreting, all these things to Ezra. All these things, and as make mention, and it's read over verse 54.
Verse 54.
Mm-hmm.
And after these,
Mm-hmm.
Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures.
Right.
Of him come we all.
Go ahead.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Right. So now he's showing you a clear separation. So he created, as we say, on that 6th day, as we say, he created all the creatures and he created man. But now we showing you a total separation, because why? This is who the Most High God had chosen. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Verse 55.
Mm-hmm.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord,
Mm-hmm.
because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Because thou madest you what?
The world for our sakes.
Because why? When the righteous in authority, the whole earth rejoice, because the Most High God had always been separated, and again to have things in its place, because again in everything that he do, he saw it was good.
Right.
He saw it was good, and because again he understood again the mindset of men. And this is why now we choose, as we say, you out of all, as you say, the people, to do what? To rule or to run this society. Because why? You will have the same mindset as him, that same spirit. Right? Go ahead. Yeah, continue. You wait straight. Yeah.
All this have I spoken before thee,
Mm-hmm.
O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Mm-hmm.
As for the other people,
As for the who?
as for the other people,
Right. Go ahead.
which also come of Adam,
Right.
thou hast said that they are nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them
Mm-hmm.
unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right. And again, just as we read in verse 54, again, this what Ezra is receiving, again, it was making a clear distinction. So the Most High God, as you say, on the 6th day, he created, male and female, and then out of that male and female, he choose one.
Right.
So he now we reach the part now we choose, and then now we making mention concerning out of all, as you say, as for the other people which also come, thou come up Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
Right.
Because why? They was not given again the authority or given that spirit to rule in righteousness. They were set as what? As the scriptures say, as servants and handmaids. They were set to serve, and they were set to do what? Just as the righteous instruct them.
Right.
Just as when our King Yahweh shall return, what is going to be set back up? The righteous in authority. As we say, anytime, as you say, just as we read before, you're going to break down all the graven images, all the false god. It's going to be destroyed. Because why? There's only one true and living power, which is the Most High Yahweh. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens, which have ever been reputed as nothing,
Right.
have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
And showing you what took place. Because why? Because of us not adhering to these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Because of us not understanding that the Most High God had made us a separate people, a holy people unto himself. Right? And this is why now again that we must, as we again come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, that we must understand that the Most High God is a separatist, that the Most High God had always separated the nation of Israel or the children of Israel from all other nations. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
And now the questions and them start to arise. Right? Read 7 and 1.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I have made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before.
And this was again the instructions coming back down now. Go to verse 5.
Verse 5. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. And the entrance thereof is narrow,
right,
and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left hand is deep water.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. And one only path between both them.
And what?
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
And he show you the separation on both sides, the fire on one side and the water on one side. And it show you again that the Most High God again will always continue to separate. And what he doing He's showing you again. He's separating your spirit from the society.
Right.
Because now, as you see, the angel returned back unto him.
Right.
Just as you know, as he was before, and he bring the instructions now, and he break it down, as we say, in a metaphoric way, showing him that, oh, hey, all right, this is what taking place. The Most High God had always made you separated from all these other nations. Separated, just as he say, when you read in Deuteronomy, he gave instructions to be separated from them, destroy them utterly. That mercy, no mercy. And it will always be a reminder through the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man record. Here we go to Amos, and again, you know, it's a glorious thing, to to really serve under righteousness. Because again, when you look at what taking place, concerning with the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man outside of the truth, is like, as we always make mention, is hell. Hell and hell. Because why? You continue to help build the empire of all these other nations, heaven, even in the time of this, as we say, this pandemic, and you continue to face hell. You continue to face, the oppression, and they will continue to build, as you say, offer the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because why? They see you as as gold, use gold in their sight. Because the conspire, they had that sit down, and they had that conspire, that conspiracy, that, hey, we don't let them know who they is, but notice the truth out. And the I.S.U.P.K under Commandant General Yahanna is going to continue to make that clear distinction that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians need to be separated from the all oppressors, from these heathens, from all these nations. And if you're not of the bloodline, because this is not, as we say, this is not as we say, your normal, as you say, join me card, join this group. This is our bloodline.
Right.
And if you're not of that bloodline, then you belong to whatever bloodline you can trace back. You as we say, your bloodline too. And as the scriptures make mention, this is who he is. Numbers 1 and verse 18. Know them by the pedigree, by the seed of the father.
Right.
And this is why we always make mention to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that they come back to your law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Amos 3 and verse 1.
Book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Right.
Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel,
Right.
against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
Right. Right.
Saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So he didn't say just the as he say, the so-called black man. He said the whole family.
Right.
The Hispanic, the Native Indian. Because again, when you go through the history and you understand, as we say, the split in the kingdom, where again with the northern tribe and again the southern tribe, where the northern tribe broke off and flee, as you say, through the book of Ezra to this side, but not all flee, because again it are examples with the sister Hannah, showing that she was from the tribe of Asher in the time of our King Yahushua. And he said the whole family, not half of the family, but he's speaking to the whole family. Say, you only have I known. You only. Right? Go ahead.
Can. Verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Can two walk together what?
Except they be agreed.
And knowing the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, they would always be crying unto the Most High. These other nations don't cry unto God because their glory is in their pride.
Right.
Their glory is not in the Most High God. They only use that as a front to do what? To entrap you in their doctrines and their philosophy. But the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, when you see them, they always pray.
Right.
They always pray. And as the scripture say, can two walk together except they be agreed? Because why? These records belong to you. And when you open these records, as you see, because of your proudness and your pride, you will always try to make a distinction between the new and the old, but not understanding that this is one flow.
Right.
And again, as make mention, Christ didn't teach Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He always make mention, is it not written? Is it not, as you say, to go to this, he was reading out of the book of Isaiah throughout these records, right? Right. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
And this is why now we could make mention that the Most High God is a separatist.
Right.
This is the reason why now we could go through these records and bring the reminder to the black, Hispanics, and Native Indians that the Most High God had set prophets before the nation, had always set, the men that his spirit reside in, to wake back up these 12 tribes. And again, we must say Barakataya Washai again for Commandant General Yana for holding down this truth and instilling righteousness in brothers and sisters. That same spirit, that one mind, that one body, and that one spirit, that flow, that pass through these brothers, these sisters, these men, as we say, men that sit on these tables. Because why? Our cry is always the cry of separation. That the Most High God has set us to be a separate people from all these other nations. And again, we continue on, and as these classes and them continue to stream live, every day of the week, we continue to bring the reminder to the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, woman, and children that, continue to tune in, continue to, log into these classes and them, get your mind renewed, as we say, get your mind renewed, and, your mind can only be renewed through these records and by righteous black men teaching you these things, teaching you your history, your archaeology, as we say, your culture. And the only place you can find this again is in the I.S.U.P.K under Commandant General.
Right.
And again, as we close off, I continue to remind brothers and sisters, again, and it will be read, as the officer comes up, to pay tune again to what is taking place, and you could go up on I.S.U.P.K, social media, web page, and you'll get all, upcoming events. And, again, we have classes throughout the week.
Right.
Again, Black Watch, every Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And if for some reason, any, information that is been as we say, on the agenda whereby it can bring enlightenment to the nation. So it will be brought out again by, the instructions of the leader of the nation at this time, which is Commander General. And with that, I pass the class to priest and officer.
Security announcements. The I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West and 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. You are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 3 from verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the 52nd annual Passover, which is on April 24th at sundown at the BH Ranch at 14149 Player Street, Houston, Texas. Right? The cost is $200 per person. Children under 17 are free. We might Akiem and Akwakiem check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, light shirts, light pants, light headband or scarf. And with that we say imagine. Upon the dam, should rise and face the east, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shemaya, Dash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malakavka, Aba'a, Zaka, I.S.H.A, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashmai, Yatananawa, Lakam, Ka, Lawam, Masalakna, Kawawatna, Asalakna, Kawawatna, Wala'a, Abianawa, Manasayawan, Abo, Oshina, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'al, Tapara, Iwalamiam, Man.
The English, our Father, that never be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, daily bread, forgive us our debtors, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We say Hakaka Paul, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Yahushai, Nawa, Haka, Larapaha, Kamakaal, Kamadawa, Haka, Taha, Matazarai, Haka, Lahapoyam, Amatiyam, Haka, Irakowa, Amataal, Darashan, Hashem, Yahushai, Wadama.
The English, Yahweh, name of Yahweh, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, for to cleanse the leper, for to raise the dead, for against unclean spirits, cast them out, name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it.
We'll see blessings. Barakatay Yahweh, Yahushai, Makaal, Alahai, Matizabia, Wapian, Alawapia, Asarani, Akonzani, Akan Yam, Wapiam, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Wadama.
In the English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh, and Michael, and the angel, Commanding General Yohanan, General, the captain, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, name of Yahweh. Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it. We're going to read the I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, all things living. Yahweh, name of Yahweh, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, punishment and destruction to the heathen that shake loose, churches of the rich of Israel, that refuse to give to the force their riches, riches that I stand to, and evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the government of our enemies, and synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, Kenneth, Kwaskumatani, the gay movement, lesbian, spies, workers of witchcraft, that's a space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channels, and the radio channels, convict the spirit of any of thy people, and seek to stop us, swift destruction, all the heathen, and stand in the way, or try to stop us, broadcasting your word, through all the planet, and do all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth, and consume them, and the plagues shake the house of the chief, and the murder, and the Yahweh, Michael, Gabriel, come down with the flying sword, punish all the heat, that come against us, and speak thy word, cause to be known by all, as the angels that have done it, cause to be spread through the media, through all the whole world, cause them to shake at thy coming, in the name of Yahweh. Thank you, so be it.
We're going to bless Israel. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Barak,
Command General Yohanan, all generals, captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children, the destroyer of Israel, all 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth, brothers and sisters in the truth, I.S.U.K worldwide and their families, I.S.U.K Trinidad and Tobago and their families, I.T.S.H.A, General, captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children, destroyer of Israel, I.S.U.K Tobago, John family, Lexus family, Philip family, Kutu family, Yakao, Matazah, Rada, Naaman, Bashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh, name of Yahweh, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect all of us, name of Yahweh. Thank you, so be it.
So, let's give it a courtesy salute, a Mother Shabbat, a Majam, a Rap, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Mata, so let's give the sisters online a courtesy salute, a Mother Shabbat, a Majam, a Rap, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Mata, class dismissed.